student, today we are going to study history of class 8. The revolt of 1857, chapter 5. Let's start with the introduction. We must not forget that in the sky of India, serene as it is, a small cloud may arise at first no bigger than a man's hand, but which growing bigger and bigger may at last threaten us in ruin. This was said by Lord Canning, that time's Governor General in India in 1855. He knew at some point of time there going to be a revolt like revolt of 1857, which clearly expression of popular resistance against an oppressive rule that wanted to retain control over India at any cost. As you can see in this picture, he is Lord Canning at that time's Governor General. Let's see the nature of the revolt. What kind of revolt was that? The revolt of 1857 has been termed as Sepoy Mutiny by the British. Most of the British contemporary writers such as Sir James Outram, P. Robert view it as a mere mutiny of the soldier, whereas some of them like J.B. Norton regard it as a mutiny as well as a revolt of people. On the other hand, Indian nationalist leaders such as V. Savarkar and Mehta call it a war of national independence or first war of independence, highlighting the participation of both Hindu and Muslim. Even the British Prime Minister Disraeli recognized it as a national revolt. But the truth lies somewhere in between the two views, since the ruler, nobles, and Sipais participated in it. Calling it only a Sipai mutiny would be incorrect. However, the participants of the revolt of 1857 were bound by one common feature, and that was we all or their hatred towards the British. Let's see the causes of revolt one by one. There are many causes, but we have going to discuss causes, only 4 or 5 causes here, that is political causes, economic causes, social and religious causes, and military causes. Start with political causes. Introduction of subsidiary alliance and doctrine of lapse. Britishers' policies under the subsidiary alliance and the doctrine of lapse reduced the native kings and princes to mere subordinates. Native rulers and chieftain of Satura, Jhansi, Sambalpur, Nagpur and Awadh were made to part with the kingdom in an unjust manner. This created bitterness against the British rule among the displaced ruling class. The expansionist policy of the British made all the Indian rulers suspicious of their intention. The British discontinued the policy of granting pension and title to the Indian rulers, which caused widespread distress and discontent. For instance, Nana Sahib, the adopted son of Baji Rao II, was deprived of pension and his title. Move on to the economic causes. Britishers introduced various land revenue policies which made the lives of peasants hell, or we can say miserable. High rate of revenue, collection of tax by zamindar and oppression of poor peasants created immense dissatisfaction among them. The peasants offer lots their rights on land and become regardless. Next is confiscation of land. The British even confiscated lands of old zamindar, especially in Awadh. This added to the anti-British sentiments. The artisan and the craftsmen were ruined because of large-scale imports of cheap British manufactured goods. In contrast to them, handmade goods seemed very expensive. As a result, their demand decreased. On the other hand, Indian goods were subjected to very heavy duties when sold in England. Displacement of old ruling classes. People who were previously dependent on royal patronage for their livelihood found themselves unemployed due to displacement of the old ruling class. Last, slow pace of industrialization. The drain of wealth and extremely slow pace of industrialization added to the economic grievance of the people. Let's move on to the social and religious causes. Started with threaten to the established social order. Britishers took many measures such as the abolition of sati, legalization of widow remarriage, introduction of women's education made the Orthodox Hindu extremely restless. They viewed these measures as a threat to the established social orders and were convinced that the British were all set to destroy their religion. Now, attempts of Christian missionary also made them inferior because the Christian missionary convert people to Christianity induced fear among some section of Indians. Now, taxation on lands and mosques. Lands belong to temples and mosques were taxed. Families dependent on the incomes from these lands were hurt by this. Policies of racial discrimination. The British followed a policy of racial discrimination. Indians were denied high ranking jobs and promotion. They often faced humiliation and were looked down upon by the British. Disturbance of caste norms. Caste norms were disturbed when Indians belonging to different castes were placed together in the army, prison, and railway coaches. Let's see the military causes. Starting with paid less their European counterparts, the Indian Sipahi were paid less than their European counterpart as well as were often humiliated by their British officers. Their chance of promotion of Indians in the army were also very limited. They could not rise beyond the level of Sumidar. It became mandatory for new recruit to serve overseas by the General Service Enlistment Act 1856, but according to Hindu norms, traveling overseas was a caste taboo. Forbidden wearing of sectarian marks. The Britishers had forbidden wearing of sectarian marks such as tilak, turban, beard, which hurt the religious sentiments of the Indians. There was an immediate cause which started in 1856. The Enfield rifle was introduced in the army. The cartridge of this rifle was smeared with grease and covered with cap, which had to be beaten off before use. The Sipahi believed that grease was made from the fat of animals that would hurt the religious sentiments of both the Hindus and Muslims. So they refused to them. On 29 March 1857, Mangal Pandey of Barakpur called upon his fellow Sipahis to revolt against the use of new cartridge. He was arrested and hanged on 8 April 1857. You can see this picture. This is the Mangal Pandey. He played one of the major important role in this revolt. He was the first one who shot his officer. As a result, the mutiny started. The spread of the revolt. On May 1857, 85 soldiers in Meerut refused to use the new rifles and were sentenced to 10-year imprisonment. Next day, all Sipahis mutinied and soon they liberated their colleagues from prison. The soldiers set Britishers' residence on fire, massacred British men, women, children. Most of the mutineers later proceeded towards Delhi. Let's see the main centers and leaders of the revolt. The main centers were Jhansi, Kanpur, Arra and Delhi. Jhansi led by Rani Lakshmibai, one of the greatest leaders of the revolt, challenged the British when they, on the pretext to doctrine of lapse, refused to recognize the rights of her adopted son to the throne of Jhansi. Later, she joined Tatya Tope and captured Gwalior. She died on 17th June 1858 fighting the British. Kanpur led the revolt. Nana Sahib led the revolt in Kanpur. He expelled the British and declared himself as the Peshwa. He was supported by Tatya and Azimullah. In December 1857, British recaptured Kanpur and Nana Sahib fled to Nepal. The revolt in Arra was led by an old chieftain, Kanwar Singh of Jagdishpur. He organized rebel groups in various parts of India and Uttar Pradesh. He was able to free parts of Bihar and extend his support to rebels in Kanpur and Lucknow. He finally died in April 1858. Delhi became the central point for rallying the rebels. Mughal Emperor Bahadur Jafar was proclaimed leader of the revolt by the soldiers from Meerut who marched to Delhi. The contingent stormed Delhi and they reoccupied it in September 1857. This followed by a massacre. Bahadur Shah Jafar was captured, tried and found guilty. He was deported to Rangoon while his son was shot dead. The Mughal Empire ended with him. As you can see, the main center of revolt of 1857 in pink. Suppression of the revolt. The Governor General Lord Canning utilized the service of his best commanders such as John Lawrence, Campbell, Outram, Neil, Rose, Havelock. The revolt lasted for about a year before it was suppressed by the British. The British used utmost brutality and ruthlessness to suppress it. They burned down villages and resorted to public hanging or blowing people by tying them to the mouth of cannons. Why did the revolt fail, or we can say causes of the revolt failure? First one is unable to spread in whole India. This revolt failed to spread over the whole of India and was limited only to the northern and central part. Some parts were remained unaffected. Lack of dynamic leadership and ability. Now, most of the leaders of the revolt were lacks dynamic and able leadership of like the British. The leaders were motivated by their personal gains rather than love for their country. Many of them lacked foresight and determination. Lack of coordinating plan also. Now, the rebels had no centralized planning or coordinating plan. They failed to capitalize on their gain. Now, they were using outdated weapons also. The Indian fought with their outdated weapons against the sophisticated British weapons. Last, many sections of the Indian population stayed away from the revolt because they were friendly with the Britishers, and the newly educated Indians remained unsympathetic to the revolt. Many of them showed compassion and goodwill toward the British and felt that they were required for Indian progress. Effects of the revolt. What were the effects? First is the end of the East India Company, and it was took or administered by Queen Victoria in 1858. There was a replacement of the Board of Control and Directors by the Secretary of State. The Governor General was given the title of Viceroy and he was made subordinate to the Secretary of State. The army was reorganized. The Queen of Britain assured the Indian princes that no further annexation would be made. Moreover, the crown promised not to interfere in the social and religious practice of the people. The general pardon was granted to the rebel except those who were guilty of killing British subjects. The revolt proved to be a major source of inspiration and raised the patriotic sentiments among the people. What were the conclusion of the revolt? The revolt of 1857 was an unprecedented event in the history of British rule in India. It is united, though in a limited way, many sections of Indian society for a common cause. Though the revolt failed to achieve the desired goal, it sowed the seeds of Indian nationalism. That's all for today. Have a good day.